Blake, still very cold out on the weather deck, but that's not going to last too much longer.
Yeah, we do have a decent warm up in sight, Juliet, especially Sunday into Monday. But before we get to that warm up, we're going to have to deal with just a brief opportunity of another round of maybe some impacts from a winter standpoint. Our forecast today was a high temperature of 24. We got to 22 here in Grand Rapids, so it was warmer today than yesterday and still within 3 degrees of our forecast. Accuracy streak now upwards of 4 days. High temperatures here at home generally in the upper 10s to lower 20s. Yeah, another cold one, no doubt about it. On average, we should still be around 37 degrees, so roughly 15, almost 20 degrees below average here on this 13th of December. By far, it's been a colder than average first half of December. But our 13 weather ball, solid red with some slightly warmer temperatures ahead. If you want to brave the cold for just a minute or two, if you step outside, you can see the near full moon towards the northeast half of the sky, shining brightly right now. This was the view in Fremont. We had clouds earlier in the day, then the skies opened up and we were able to bask in some sunshine. Despite the cold, it's always nice to see some sunshine this time of year. But yeah, it is a chilly one. Temperatures are in the 10s now and will fall mostly into the lower 10s by the end of tonight. Upper single digits in our coldest spots. The good news is that we don't have too much of a wind to contend with. Our wind will remain light tonight and around 5 to 10 miles per hour at best. High pressure in control, that keeps us quiet through the daytime hours tomorrow, but this is our focus of the forecast. Our next weather maker, low pressure down into the southern plains. Already seeing some precipitation blossom north of its warm front. This is going to provide a serious icing event across parts of the Midwest, and some of that precipitation will drift into West Michigan towards tomorrow night. The highest impacts from this system, well to our west. Winter weather advisories in purple and this dark shade of pink and purple. That's an ice storm warning over the heart of Iowa, where they could see upwards of a ½ inch of icing tonight into tomorrow morning. Notice there is a sign that we could see some icing here in West Michigan. That's going to be the case tomorrow night. So our weekend in a nutshell, tonight through tomorrow, quiet. In fact, tomorrow we're going to rebound back into the upper 20s to lower 30s, maybe some peaks of sunshine throughout the day. But tomorrow night, that's when we're going to see the onset of precipitation. And for a few hours, as those numbers hover around the freezing mark, we could contend with a wintry mix before finally we'll climb well above freezing on Sunday. In fact, our warmest spots likely cracking that 40-degree mark. Hour by hour forecast again, quiet and cold through tonight, but nothing of an impact from a weather standpoint. And we'll remain quiet through the daytime hours tomorrow. So that's good news if you have to head out and about here at home. No issues through the day tomorrow. That changes tomorrow night, especially around 9, 10, 11 in the evening. That's when this precipitation will be on our doorstep. And with those numbers around the freezing mark, notice this shaded in pink. That's the wintry mix we'll keep an eye on, potentially in the way of freezing rain. Now, as the night goes on tomorrow night and early Sunday, temperatures will continue to climb a little bit above freezing. That will allow many of us to switch over to all rain after a few hours of that onset of a wintry mix. Our north and east communities, Big Rapids, for example, Howard City, up towards Baldwin and Reed City, that's where the freezing rain, the wintry mix could be prolonged a little bit longer than just a couple hours, and where we could see some longer impacts as well into Sunday morning. But the expectation as Sunday morning goes on, everyone will climb above freezing. Any precipitation will transition over to just rain. But with that onset of a wintry mix, could see a few hundredths of an inch of freezing rain. That's enough for a glaze of ice. Definitely could be some slippery spots on those back roads, those snow-covered back roads. Just a few hundredths of an inch of ice could allow for some slippery spots. And it's just something to keep in mind late Saturday evening into a chunk of Saturday night. As we make our way through the end of Sunday, we'll be quiet, but then our next system comes in on Monday. This is just all rain, because Monday we're going to climb well into the 40s. It's not out of the question a spot or two even reaches 50 degrees to kick off next week. It'll be a brief warm-up, but we'll see a lot of melting later in the day, Sunday and the Monday. Temperatures tonight falling into the teens, even some upper single digits. A partly to mostly cloudy sky as the night goes on, but pretty quiet here at home. Temperatures tomorrow climbing into the upper 20s to lower 30s, and the rest of your 13 on your side 7-day forecast showcasing that brief wintry mix tomorrow late evening into tomorrow night. Very short-lived, but could be a few impacts there, especially near and north of I-96. And then Sunday into Monday, we warm up. We cool back down into the 30s as next week goes on.